In this video, I have a new troop and hero equipment coming in the next Clash of Clans update. But before we get into the big stuff, there are a few notable changes coming that I want to mention. First things first, I have a long list of cost and time reductions that will affect various buildings, troops, spells, pets, and even a hero at multiple town hall levels. To be honest, this list is way too large to share in the video alone, but I will mention a few notable adjustments. The Royal Champion's cost will be slightly reduced from level 2 through level 44. Town Halls 14 through 17 will receive both a time and cost reduction to upgrade, and each of the pets' upgrade costs will also be slightly reduced from their current pricing. But again, lots of buildings and unit changes to mention, so make sure you check out the patch notes when this update goes live if this type of information interests you. It also looks like the developer is reducing the housing space for multiple secondary troops such as the Lava Pup, Ice Pup, and Lava Loon Pups, Yeti Mite and Ice Mites, Big Boy, and the Druid Bear. I'm assuming that those changes would more apply towards the Eagle Artillery's activation, but I could be wrong and overlooking something. Then there's a list of other changes, but the biggest one here is that the Builder Gold and Elixir rewards from builder-based battles will be increased significantly for almost all of the leagues. Now let's get into the new stuff coming. The Minion Prince will be gaining its 4th common ability in this update. This one is called Noble Iron, and it is a passive ability. When the Minion Prince is deployed, his first few attack projectiles deal more damage. He flies faster and has a longer range. Think of this ability being similar to that of the Super Minions ability. Noble Iron will be unlocked by upgrading the Blacksmith to level 5 at Town Hall 12. By upgrading this equipment will increase the number of boosted shots, their damage and range, and his general attack speed. Alright, so I put together a little Town Hall 12 attack replay. I know it's not the maximum level, but this is where we get the new ability. So we got the Minion Prince with the Noble Iron and Metal Pants. One is a passive ability, the other one is an active ability, and I just feel like they might go together really well. But there's different options, different combinations now, so it's going to be very interesting to see the Minion Prince in action. So we're going to use him in the sense of a funneling troop for this particular replay. We got the Queen's ability that fired off, taking out an air defense, and then here goes the Minion Prince, and you'll notice that he's able to pick off various buildings before getting closer to the buildings when that passive ability wears off. So that could come in useful for sniping off things like air defenses, just something to think about. It doesn't have to be used in this particular manner. This is Town Hall 12, so we have a mass dragon attack with the Lava Loon Puppet on the Grand Warden, and as the Minion Prince gets closer to the defenses, we're going to activate his Metal Pants, and he's going to get really close and be able to take out a few additional buildings to help out the dragons move through this base. And after attacking on this Town Hall 12 replay, I was a little surprised by how simple Town Hall 12 has gotten. Then again, it's been a little while since I played Town Hall 12, so we might need to go back and do that. But anyways, on topic, that's what the ability does. Let me know down in the comments below how you might apply it. And last but not least, we have a new troop being released in this update. Town Hall 15 players will be able to upgrade the Dark Barracks for 20 million elixir and a 12-day construction time to unlock the brand new Furnace. Inspired by Clash Royale's Furnace, the Furnace is a troop that does not move, it does not attack, but instead it spawns over time a number of fire mites, which are tiny, quick troops that shoot themselves at the nearest buildings, doing damage over time. Mechanically speaking, the Furnace has no movement speed, attack speed, target type, target preference, it just exists. It will spawn fire mites for 60 seconds, approximately 1 fire mite every 3 seconds. There is a maximum number of spawns, and the level of spawns increase as the troop is upgraded. Also note that this troop has a housing space of 18, which can take up a bit of space in your army camp. Similar to a flame flinger, the Furnace does damage itself over time. If destroyed before spawning all of its fire mites, those units are not spawned but lost. If the Furnace is healed, it will eventually stop spawning fire mites even if it's still alive, so it's really not worth healing. The fire mites, on the other hand, have a fast move speed, attack speed, and will target anything. When it attacks a building, it shoots itself at the building, doing a small instant damage while creating fire under the building. The fire does area damage over time to the building, and multiple pools of fire in the same place do not stack up damage. There will be 4 levels released with this update, with level 1 and 2 available at Town Hall 15, level 3 at Town Hall 16, and level 4 at Town Hall 17. And so, the Furnace. This is actually a very interesting troop to say the least. Now, this attack is not what I expect to see it used. I kind of expect to see the Furnace used in a very strategic manner, probably by a lot more skilled players that have a lot more patience than what I do. I just wanted to try out a few things to make sure that it did in fact clone. So we got a Town Hall 17 base. There are no defensive troops, and we got a ton of furnaces, like 18 of them, all right? So we're going to bring in a Flame Flinger, and then we're going to set a couple of furnaces next to each other. They can be cloned, and it looks like with the max clone, they spawn 2 additional furnaces next to the 2 that I had placed. I do the same thing on the opposite side, and we're just kind of clearing out some buildings. Now, this troop is going to serve as either a really good funneling troop, although you got to keep in mind that over 60 seconds, that's a lot of time chewed up on an attack, and there are far easier options like Root Riders, you know, that you could use. So what we're doing here is we got the Queen and the Barbarian King working their way in. We're going to use the Queen's ability to activate the spell tower, you know, trigger that invisibility, and then we're going to basically drop all of our furnaces in a line with the Grand Warden as well as the Royal Champion. And what's going to happen here is the Fire Mites are going to travel through the base targeting buildings and essentially creating a bunch of different targets for the defenses to try to fight. And that opens it up for the heroes to negotiate through the base relatively well. Although it would have been nice to keep the Barbarian King's ability, but we did have the Fireball doing some damage to the center of the base, and then the defense gets taken out by the Fire Mites that traveled through. And you'll notice, because we have all these different furnaces laid out, that there's Fire Mites traveling all throughout the base, and we've cleared 55% of the base with just heroes and furnaces. Now, I don't know if this is actually going to be a thing, because we didn't 3-star the base, of course. We took out a lot of this base, and at the end we did have an Archer Queen as well as some Valkyries and Hog Riders inside of our Flame Flinger, doing a little bit cleanup on the right side, but the furnaces are still going. They're releasing Fire Mites that are traveling on the opposite side of the base, and then they eventually burn out. So if there had been a little bit more time there, they might have been able to be helpful in the clearance of this base, sorta. I don't know. It was just an idea that I was having, I wanted to play with, but yeah, that is the new troop coming to Clash of Clans in this update. Let us know down in the comments below how you think it's going to be used, and are you excited for a new troop in Clash?